Welcome. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing and component overview of FANGS, Werewolves versus Vampires versus Humans, a party game for 5 to 8 players. So one of my favorite social deduction games of all time has been Shadowhunters, but it's out of print, so unless you're ready to spend well over $100 for this game, you are out of luck until it's been reschemed and recently released as FANGS. So party game for 5 to 8 players, which I believe is incorrect. I believe it will play 4, but definitely best with 5 or more. So deduce, deceive, destroy, or die. So once again, for 5 to 8 or 4 to 8 players, ages 10 and up, playtime is about 30 minutes. Social deduction, bluffing, werewolf game, and party game. So what team is the player sitting next to me on? Are they a blood-sucking vampire, ferocious werewolf, or just a hapless chump trying not to get bitten? In FANGS, it's werewolves versus vampires versus humans. The thrilling social deduction party game challenges players to determine which one of these 3 secret roles each other player has assumed. Since you don't know who you can trust when the game begins, you must attempt to conceal your role from the other players while working to identify your allies and your enemies. Werewolves are out to expel the vampires from the game. Vampires aim to expel werewolves. And the humans are just trying to avoid detection and survive until the end of the game. Throw in some secret weapons and ulterior motives. This party game makes for a howling good time. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. And of course, we can see this is a much smaller box as its predecessor. So inside, we're going to have a whole lot of cards that we'll take a closer look at. 2 dice. Got a 4-sider and a 6-sider. And then tokens for our colors. Just nice wooden tokens there. And then our rule book. And a health meter. So in this game, we're going to have health. And that will be tracked. And once you hit your health, you're out of the game, but can still potentially win. So a rule book, quick 24 pages, a little bit about the author in the game itself. So going over game setup. So the original game had a big board to put all your cards in, but this one will just put around in a circle. Still have the same basic decks going around. Going over setup. Like I said, it is for 4 or more players for sure. That tells you how you distribute the different identities. So werewolves, vampires, or human players. And basically what you do on your turn, basically you're rolling dice, going to a location, potentially fighting and using abilities on the other characters in the game. And some variants, more for 4 players. So I guess technically the squares are health markers. So depending on the character you get, you'll move that. And these are going to go on different locations. So first we'll take a look at our character players. So we're going to have 8 humans, 6 werewolves, and 6 vampires. And on our cards, we're going to have our name, of course, our faction, our health, our goal, and special ability. So we've got Akira, Aquino, Bella, Blake, Claudius, Chloe, Daniel, and Donna. And then for our werewolves, we have Emily, Ella, Frederick, Fabian, Gregor, and Grady. And our vampires, Yuri, Ulrich, Vlad, Viola, Winona, and Willow. Then we have player cards. It's going to let us know what color we're going to be picking. And of course, the first letter or the names of each of the different factions. So you can pick your favorite color, get our markers. Then we have our 6 locations. Over here is going to be our die roll totals from that. So that's where our marker will go. What we get to do, so on this one, we'll get to draw an oracle card. And of course, each location is going to be the spot we're on and the adjacent where the arrow is pointing. So we're going to make these go around in a circle. So like I said, that's going to let us draw oracle cards. Then with the Spring of Wisdom, if you roll a 4 or 5, you'll go here and you can take your pick of cards you'll get to draw. Then over at the chapel, drawing the blue advantage cards. Graveyard, if you roll a 7. Combat cards. The Witch Tree, if you roll an 8. Options here are you either do 2 damage to one player or you heal a damage from a player. The Stone Circle, you get to steal an equipment card from another player. So those are the different locations. So the green Oracle cards are going to be used to help identify who the other players are. So when you draw one of these, you'll give it secretly to another player. They're going to see what's here. So ask another player, are you human? If yes, if you don't have any damage points yet, you suffer 1 damage point. If you already have damage points, heal one of them. And no, nothing happens. So this is just secret between the person that drew the card. You hand it over. They'll read it, do whatever the card says, hand it back, or say, no, nothing happened. So a whole bunch of different things. Ask another player, are you a werewolf? Are you human? Are you a vampire? And just different things that will happen with those. Are you human or vampire? Human or werewolf? Does your character card show 11 or fewer damage points, 12 or more? Or the best one yet, show your character card only yours to the person whose turn it is. So those are the Oracle cards. And we have the blue advantage cards, and most of these cards are going to come with either events or equipment. Events are going to be as soon as you draw it, you just play it. Equipment, you'll put down in front of you. So you see we've got a Blood Moon, Energy Boost, some Exposure, Remote Healing, Holy Wrath, Healing, a Bone Lance, Magic Compass, Backpack, Protective Amulet, Protective Cloak, Protective Ring, so lots of protection and healing in here. Protective Aura, Blessings, Talisman, Time Warp, and another Time Warp. In our orange combat cards, got a nice crossbow, do some robbery, a blood spider, a dark ritual, iron fist, several of those, an explosion, magic fire, a torch, pitfall, ambush, a vampire bat, and that ends those up. So that's everything in the box. So depending on the number of players, you're going to secretly take each of these stacks, shuffle them up. So assuming we're playing a 5-player game, we're going to have 2 potential werewolves, 2 potential vampires, and 1 human. So we'll take each of these stacks, shuffle them. We're getting 2 vampires, 2 werewolves, and 1 human. Then take all those cards, shuffle them together, hand them out to all the players. So we're not going to know what 4 of those people are, and we can see we're the human. Our goal, you win if you are the first to be eliminated. Do not intentionally inflict damage on yourself, or all vampires are eliminated and you are not. So basically we're helping the werewolves, or we want to die first. Special abilities, when you're face down, you don't get that, but when you flip it up, you'll get the special abilities. As soon as the first person is eliminated, you must turn your character card face up, so they'll know you'll be working for the werewolves. And of course, each of these players are going to have their own color. So we're yellow on this, plus the other colors. We're just going to put those down there for now. On your turn, you're going to roll the dice. Go to that location, so that's 5. That means we can pick one of any of the colors to draw from. So we'll say we're going to draw from the green. So we can give this to that character. This is the best card out there. Show your character card. So we're going to know immediately that this player is the vampire Viola. And that's just secret information with us. So these cards are always discarded face down, while the others would be discarded face up. And as everyone gets on the board, if someone lands on a spot with you, or they share the next area with you, they can clear an attack, which means you roll both these dice, take the difference. So there, that'd be 5 minus 4. So we would be taking 1 damage from that. And in that instance, it would be 3 damage taken. And you'll keep playing until either all the vampires are dead, in which case the werewolves win, or all the werewolves are dead, which means the vampires win. And the humans pretty much always have just a random win condition. So that is everything in FANGS. Werewolves versus vampires versus humans. A social deduction game for 4 to 8 players. So as always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.